So today I want to completely debunk a common expression that I know we have all heard many, many times. It's probably been said to us our entire life. I'm sure we have said it to others many times as well. And that is, don't get your hopes up. Because what I want to tell you is you should absolutely get your hopes up. You should have your hopes so high at all times. You are just always hoping for the best, always hoping for the best outcome, always hoping for better, bigger, different, striving for more. Because if we don't get our hopes up, you're already setting yourself up for failure. So I want you to really think about what that expression means in so many different levels. How many times have you heard that or said that before? You're like, oh, I'd really love to do this, but I'm not going to get my hopes up. Oh, I would really love to get that new job, but I'm not going to get my hopes up. I don't think it's really going to happen. I'm not going to get my hopes up. How many times have you said that? When you say that, you've already ensured that it won't happen. Whatever that thing was that you thought you wanted, that maybe, inside you actually really wanted it, and then you stopped yourself from actually doing it or having it because right away you said, I'm not going to get my hopes up. Or somebody told you, yeah, that might be nice, but don't get your hopes up. I don't think it's going to happen. You've already said it. It's not going to happen. Whatever you put out there, that is what you will receive back, right? So if you go in with the idea of not getting your hopes up because you think right away that it just might not happen, then it's not going to happen. So the next time that you hear yourself about to say, or you start to think, oh gosh, that would be so nice, but I don't want to get my hopes up. I'm just going to stay here where it's safe. Well, guess what? You will stay where it's safe. And the thing is, we are never staying in one place, right? We are always either growing or going the opposite direction. Okay, so if you think you're just staying where you're safe and comfortable, you're actually going backwards. You're not just going to stay in one place. So we're going one way or the other. Which way do you want to go? So I invite you to get your hopes up, hold them up, and keep them up so high. So the next time that you're maybe going for a new job, or you have your business and you're trying to get more clients, or you're starting a new program, or you're doing something different, I want you to go into it with the highest hopes ever, that this is going to be the most amazing experience. I am going to get so much out of this. I am going to get such a huge return on my investment. I am going to land that new job. I am going to make this amount of money. I am going to do whatever it is. Because if you go in there with the idea that you are going to do it, that it is going to happen the way that you want it to, you are far more likely to get that than to go into something with this don't get your hopes up mentality. So I don't ever want to hear you saying, don't get your hopes up again, because I want you to have your hopes high at all times. Always expecting the best, always expecting improvement, always expecting growth, never expecting to settle for something you don't actually want. So the next time that you are about to jump into something, so let's use this as a good example, okay? So if you are going for that new job interview, and it's a job that you really want, and you are surprised you even got the interview, you thought they would never consider you, and you're nervous, and so you're thinking like, I'm not good enough for this job, and you're going in there with this idea that I don't want to get my hopes up because then, if I don't get it, I'm just going to be really disappointed. Well, what do you think is better? Is it better to get your hopes up and to go in there with the idea that like, this could really happen, and you visualize what that would look like when that happens? What would your life look like if you had that new job that you really wanted? What would your life look like if you were making that different income, if you had more money coming in, the amount that you actually desire for yourself, your family, for the impact you want to make? What would your life look like if that was happening? So instead of going in there with this idea of like, I'm not going to get my hopes up that I'm going to get this job because then I don't want to be disappointed. Well, what do you think is better? Is it better to be disappointed before you even had the chance? Or is it better to go in there with the idea, with the vision, with the goal, and staying focused on that, and then seeing what happens as it unfolds? Is it better to stay focused on where you could be going, what your life could look like, what it will look like if you continue to stay focused on it? Staying focused on that vision, that goal. And then, sure, maybe that isn't the avenue, but that doesn't mean we have to be disappointed. That doesn't mean we have to quit trying. If you go into something with your hopes high and you stay focused on where it is you want to go, and then say that particular opportunity doesn't pan out, it just wasn't the right one for you at this time. That doesn't mean that your vision is wrong. That doesn't mean that you can't still achieve your goal. So if that is the opportunity and it doesn't quite make it the way that you wanted it to, the way that you thought it was going to pan out, that doesn't mean it's not going to happen. So even if you go into this situation with your hopes high and it doesn't work out how you thought it would, we don't need to go into disappointment. We don't need to think that we're a failure. We don't need to travel down that negative road. It can and will still happen. It just might look differently than what you thought, which is why every time that we are setting a goal or a vision and we're trying to strive for something, we never focus or think about how it could happen. The how is none of our business. It's really not. The why and the what, that is our business. The desire, that is our business. Those hopes so high for the future and the life that you actually want, not the one you're settling for. How many times do we settle? Oh my gosh, when you start to really listen to people and listen to the way that they talk about things, like I was just, for example, we're considering a different area to move to. We're trying to decide. See, this is the thing, when you have the ability to live anywhere that you want, you get a little pickier on where it is that you want to move to, right? When you're not tied down, oh, I have to stay here because of this job. So I started, looking into and started asking people questions who live in the area and listening to their responses. I mean, it's amazing the things that we settle for, the things that we complain about. I am a huge proponent of, if you don't like your situation, then change it. Change it. Nobody says that you are tied down to this circumstance, but people don't have their hopes up. They don't believe that they can change it. They think they are a victim of their circumstance, whatever is going on in their current 3D world, and they don't try to improve it. So if you don't have a vision, if you don't use your imagination to create a life that you want, then you have no room to complain, in my opinion. So that might be a little bit harsh for some people, but I want you to really think about that because this is so crucial. If you do not have the strive or desire to try to, go for something bigger, go for something different, then don't complain about where you are. Don't complain about, whatever wage you're making or whatever it is that's going on in your life if you're not going to do something to change it. Nothing in your life is set in stone. How many stories have you heard of people who started from absolutely nothing? Absolutely nothing. They grew up in like the worst parts that you could imagine, living on whatever, I don't know. I remember hearing stories of we had locks on the fridge. We couldn't do hard situations. And then they go on to earn millions of dollars. Did they allow where their current circumstances were, what their current 3D reality was, to crush their hopes and dreams? Did they say, I'm not going to get my hopes up that I could actually live the life that I want? Or did they keep their hopes high and stay focused on their vision, use their imagination to create the life that they wanted? So let's not use that expression anymore, because I don't want you to stay stuck where you are, settling for a life that you don't actually desire because you won't get your hopes up. So instead, say, I am going to hold my hopes up so high, and I am going to create this amazing life, the one that I always truly wanted. But maybe I was afraid to go for it before. And I'm not afraid now. I'm going to go for it. My hopes are high, and I'm enthusiastic that it is going to happen. So I can't wait to hear what it is that you are going to go for now. How you're going to change and create the life that you actually desire, and not settle for something that you're not. So get your hopes up.